today, obviously we've got on the display, we've got lovely beautiful vegetables that are available at the shelter, but today I'm going to use specifically butternut squash, parsnip, carrot, leek and parsley, an array of herbs.
So you're going to be preparing the soup, and I believe you've got something else that you're going to accompany that with.
So for the food bank, you know, I also noticed that you have bloomer there. Now this is what the bloomer looks like. It's absolutely nourishing, it's hearty, it's filling, and it goes very well with my soup. So today I'm going to make you a herb garlic bread, which will be lovely to dip with your soup. And again, it's a meal, so we're looking for a meal. How can you make a meal out of a soup? This will be a meal which will feed a family of 4 or 5 easily, and it's very, very nourishing. So what we're going to do, first and foremost, we're going to peel our butternut squash. Now it is quite a hard nut, butternut squash, so you will need a sharp knife and a beautiful peeler. So first and foremost, you take the top off, so you'll get the head of the butternut squash and then the tail of the butternut squash. And peeling, again, is very simple. Just peel off all the outer. So when you're cutting up into small cubes, the reason you're cutting up into small cubes, you want it to be cooking quickly. You don't want big chunks. The bigger the chunks, the longer it's going to take. Again, remember, as I keep saying over and over again, it's a very hard nut, but don't be scared by it. In here, the recipe requires 3 big tablespoons of oil. So 1, 2, 3. Okay? My temperature is on. I'm going to put all my vegetables in there now. Now, just to give you an idea that I'm cooking this in a pan, but anybody who has got an oven, maybe a simple oven like that or a big house oven, then cutting it up and putting it in the oven would give you a lovely smoky, roasty taste of the soup. But cooking like that will give you just as good as the oven baked, but it just gives you that enhanced flavor of the smokiness. We're going to give this a stir. We're going to turn the temperature up a little bit so that it starts cooking. And then while this is cooking, we're going to then cut up our parsnip. So pop all that in. Right. Now another hard vegetable, carrots. Carrots are available throughout the year. Fish and value. Right, a lot of people peel the skin off of the carrot. I think carrot is fine. Pop that in there. Always add salt at the beginning. The reason you add salt at the beginning, you want to draw the moisture out of the vegetable. At the moment, I'm only adding teaspoon. Now remember, again, control your salt as well, because a lot of people put too much salt, and again, it's not healthy either. So you stir away, and at this stage I'm going to shut the lid because I want the heat to penetrate through and let that cook through. In the meantime, I'm going to show you the leeks. So take the head off. Now this one here, you know, people see this and they think, oh, do I use the whole bit? You can use the whole bit. This part here is more sweeter than this part. This part is the bitter part, but I normally like to put tiny bit of the bitter part in. This is the part you take off. You put that in the bin. Or if you want to, you can make stocks out of it. You know, you can actually make, this is another tip that I'll give you. You can actually use this for stock. So these are coming out nicely. I'm going to now add my leeks in there. Right, once you've added the leeks, this is where you want to start adding your flavors to it. The flavor will develop as the vegetables cook. Now, as I said, so I'm going to start off with coriander, sugar, only a little bit, I would say half a teaspoon, cumin, 1, oregano, 1, thyme, 1, pepper. Now this one, add as much or as little as you want, depending on how spicy you want it. So I would just add half. This is smoky paprika. Lovely smell. Put a teaspoon on that one. So pepper's done, that's done. And we've already added salt at the beginning, but I'm just going to add just that much. So I added just under a teaspoon earlier. I'm going to add a quarter of a teaspoon now. Most very important ingredient in my life, in my cooking, is garlic. A little bit more, okay? So that's your garlic. And then all we're going to do is to stir. And I'm going to add some water. So you see, as you can see, it's slowed down straight away. So what's happened is now it's going to heat up and it's going to carry on cooking. Now this bit will take from start to finish on a medium-high heat. It would take about 15 to 20 minutes for the vegetables to break down. Our butternut squash and carrots, parsnips are cooking away very nicely. And looking at it, let's just have a quick look at it, see what it looks like. Beautiful. As you can see, it's now becoming it's cooking very nicely. Just to check, see if the vegetables are cooking and which vegetable hasn't cooked. Just press it with your, see, you can see it's cooking. And the carrot is slightly al dente, meaning it's still quite raw. And then what we're going to do now is to check our vegetables one more time. And now I can see it's actually sticking at the bottom very nicely. That means sticking doesn't mean that it's burning or anything. It's just making sure the vegetables are cooking. Remember, these vegetables, as they cook, they're going to mush down very nicely. And that's what we want, mushy vegetables, for us to mash it down to make it into a soup. Not everybody's got a NutriBullet, right? Not everybody's got this. But I have got this here. I'm just going to quickly show you what I done in the oven and how to put it in a blender and blitz it. About half to a quarter cup. So I blitzed it. This is the consistency. You can see how thick it is. It's lovely. The reason I want to put it in a pan is that we are going to heat this up to what we want it. So this is your soup ready. We are now going to check on this one, see how this is going. Now remember, we put this in the machine, but this is done by hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on one side. Now, just before we blend it, we're going to cut our parsley up. It's just a garnishing. I'm going to put my parsley in it. Now we're going to try and blend this down. And all we're going to do is use this hand. Now in here, you can make it as runny as you want or as thick as you want. So it's up to you how you want it. Take a knob of butter. So about that much, pop that in. What the butter will do, it's going to give you that lovely, beautiful silkiness of the vegetables. So we're going to stir this butter in, and this soup is now ready. Also going to dress that with croutons. Now croutons, you might not know what croutons are. It's very simple. All it is bread with the crusty bits in there. You can keep putting it in there if you wanted to, but take all of that off, right? And then all you do is to chop it up into little squares. You put in your little bit of oregano, a bit of thyme, right? And don't forget the little bit of garlic as well. And then here, I'm going to add some oil. Mix it with your hands. From this, you will get that. A lovely croutony. So basically, from a nice spongy to a lovely crunch. So now I'm going to show you how to make a garlic bloomer. This particular bread. I have butter. Now, it's just ordinary butter, any butter, salted, unsalted, whatever is available. Take a little bit of butter and I'm going to put it in my plate. Now in here, because it's garlic butter, we have to put in a bit of garlic. Very important, right? And in here, I'm going to put in oregano and thyme and a pinch of salt. With the fork, all I'm going to do is to press it down so that the garlic and the herb is all pressed in nicely. We're going to finish off buttering our bread. All we're going to do now is to put it under the grill for 10 minutes. Keep an eye on it. Turn it one side and then turn it the other side. You can put garlic butter on both sides, but I would suggest one side is enough. Obviously, everything in moderation, and you're still going to get the flavor from one side. So I'm going to put this in the oven now, and I'm going to leave it in there for it to cook for 10-15 minutes. Okay, so you can see that our bread soup is on the heat already. We've also got the one we made on the hob, which is lovely and chunky, ready to be plated up. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that plating up again is very nice, very simple, but I'm just going to quickly show you. So we're going to plate up our blitz soup in here, and all we're going to do is to open and going to plate it up, and you'll see from the consistency of the soup, it is absolutely lovely. Now just one more thing that I think would make this soup go from already a beautiful unctuous soup, I'm just going to make it even more indulgent by putting in a tiny bit of cream, just a tiny bit, just to give you that edge, to make it even better. So I'm going to now plate up. So we take the plate, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it in the center. So this is what it looks like once it's on the plate. And I'm also going to put the ones that we made earlier with instead of blending it, we done it on the hob, and you'll see the difference, the contrast between the blitz one and the one which is not blitz. So you'll see how chunky that is. And again, you can call this a soup, or you can have it as a side dish. Now, dressing it up, again, very, very simple. All we're going to do is on here, we're going to garnish it. So I've got a bit of chives here. So put some chives, and a bit more on here. To make that even more indulgence, I'm going to put a tiny bit just to dress it, not over the top, just a little bit. Important. And the breadcrumbs, the croutons we did, we're going to take a few. We're just going to pop them one randomly, and some there. This is for the crunch, so it looks nice and it tastes delicious. Now doesn't that look good? Into half. Did you hear that? Did you hear the crunch, guys? Amazing.
I cannot tell you, the smells, the aroma is just so uplifting. It's so nutritious, and I really love the fact that we talked about not just the adults, but also children are able to kind of make good use of these meals as well. So, all we're going to say is it is a wrap from us today, but thank you so very much for coming down to Burnt Community Food Bank, taking away fresh provisions, which we are really, really keen to ensure everyone across Burnt Oak and neighbouring boroughs eats well. God bless, and thank you so much for watching.